Welcome to the news this week on Spectrum Television, a recap of major stories within the week. I am Uya and I can come to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiako, and let's take a look at the recap of stories. President Buhari raises duty tour allowance for ministers, permanent secretaries and civil servants. Nigeria, US renew pledge to fight climate change global challenges. Plus, Syrians head to polls over new constitution in historic crossroads. Details of these stories and more in a moment. First in our news today, President Muhammad Buhari has approved the increase of duty to allowances for government officials and workers. Ministers, permanent secretaries and civil servants on grade level 1 to 17 will benefit from the increment. The allowance is the money paid to appointees and graded staff in ministries when they embark on an official trip. Head of the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission, Ekpo Nta, conveyed the presidential assent in a circular. Away from that, a commitment by both Nigeria and the United States to work together, especially on climate change and the global energy transition, towards Osinbajo and his American counterpart Kamala Harris. While responding to a welcome remark by Harris, Osinbajo affirmed both countries believe that in the coming years they will need to work together again on varied global challenges. He said the challenges which come up frequently now ranged from promoting peace and security to tackling global health issues, climate change, and economic adversity.
I bring you greetings from President Joe Biden. I was just with him, and he and I remain committed to strengthen December at the summit here in Washington. So with that, welcome again, and I look forward to our discussion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm grateful, Vice President Kamala Harris, for receiving me here at the White House. And my visit is an opportunity to reaffirm the close ties that exist between our countries. The United States has been a long-standing partner and friend of Nigeria, and even as long ago as our economic and social development ambitions, the United States has always been with us. We also must appreciate the firm support that we've received from the U.S., especially in our fight against terrorism.
Meanwhile, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has commended her Nigerian counterpart, Yemi Osinbajo, for providing leadership in climate change issues. Osinbajo is in Washington, U.S. to seek global partnership and support for the recently inaugurated Nigeria's energy transition plan. Both leaders met at the ceremonial office at the White House and made remarks to newsmen before the closed set out in the plan.
We look at the issue of the climate crisis. Mr. Vice President, you have been an extraordinary leader on this issue, and I know this is something that you feel very strongly about, and you've been very adamant about the role Nigeria can play in addressing this crisis that faces us all. And I congratulate you, for example, on your energy
Communications Commission has attributed poor telecom services to the destruction of telecommunication infrastructure and facilities in the country. The Commission's Vice Chairman, Umar Dambata, said this at the 2022 edition of the Youth, Civil Society and Stakeholders Summit in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Dambata said over 50,000 cases of destruction in telecom infrastructure and facilities had been reported across the country in the past 5 years, adding that the implications of the incidents could be felt in the quality of telecommunication services in Nigeria. He said the increased incidents had continued to affect the quality of experience of consumers. And In education, Minister of State for Education Goodluck Opia has restated the reasons behind the position of the federal government on no work, no pay policy stands on the resolution of the industrial strike. He said having done what the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU demanded, the government expected the university teachers to return to school unconditionally. The minister, who stated this in a release by his special advisor on media and public affairs, Kelechi Mejubi, insisted that the federal government had done its best to resolve the crisis. Opia, who was on a working visit to the Federal University, and lecturers are the losers. He requested the pro-chancellors and chairmen of governing councils of universities to come into the matter and convince ASU to reconsider its position. Included plans to disburse the cabotage vessel financing fund. According to the Minister of Transport, Muazu Sambo, the move is also to enable local operators compete favorably with their international counterparts. He stated this during a visit to Area Office of National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, in Port Harcourt, River State this weekend. Sambo said the fund was an intervention move created by the federal government for the development of indigenous shipping capacity or purchase new ones. Away from that, federal government has reacted to video. The video emanated from The video had suggested that Nigerians had been denied entry into the UAE despite possessing valid visas. In a statement signed by a Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Francisca Omoliyi, the government said the stranded Nigerians did not have the correct visas applying for family visas. In a separate development, Minister of Transportation Muazu Sambo has explained that work on Port Harcourt-Maiduguri Eastern Rail Line was suspended due to insecurity and vandalism of railway property along the corridor. A statement in Lagos noted that the minister was speaking while on inspection tour of the project in Port Harcourt, River State. Sambo said the correct contractor handling the rehabilitation and reconstruction of the project, China Civil Engineering, to partner with the ministry to ensure that the economic saboteurs were exposed and prosecuted speedily to serve as a deterrent to others. On security, Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed has announced that the Nigerian military has recorded successes in neutralizing bandits, terrorists, and kidnappers in the country. Mohammed stated this while urging media practitioners to intensify efforts prioritizing national interest in discharging their constitutional and professional duties. He also alerted that the marching order. The minister made the call today in Kano at the opening of a two-day national conference on culture, peace, and national security. The role of the media, organized by the National Institute for Cultural Orientation. Mohammed was represented by the Director, International Cultural Relations in the ministry, Maimuna Idula. In politics, former President Goodluck Jonathan has urged young people to reject those trying to divide the country with ethnic and religious politics ahead of the 2023 elections. He made the remark while giving a speech in Owerri at the 80th birthday symposium of Chief Emmanuel Inyawanu. Jonathan observed that Nigeria's politics was steeped in ethnicity and religion to the detriment of the country and the people's collective root. He said if the people worked collectively, they could accommodate their differences as well as build a nation where everybody would have a sense of belonging and their rights guaranteed. And its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar to back the embattled national chairman Yorochia Ayu to lead it to next year's elections will be put to test on Thursday. The PDP's Board of Trustees and the National Executive Committee will meet on that day to decide whether Ayu should remain in office in the face of the crisis sparked by his refusal to step down. following the emergence of Atiku as the party's flag bearer. Ayu had promised before he was picked on a date. Ayu's exit is the principal demand of Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and his supporters for peace to reign in the party. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP has urged Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), who are alleged members of the All Progressives Congress (APC. According to reports, the president had on July 26 sent to the Senate the names of 19 resident electoral commissioners for confirmation. At least 4 by SERAP Deputy Director